a tribute to the late Dr. Stan Monteith, author of Brotherhood of Darkness. Dr. Stan was a good friend of mine. I appeared as a guest on his radio show over a dozen times since 2004. Dr. Stan is the original truther who devoted 50 years of his life exposing the globalist deep state. He was the inspiration and the role model, the standard of journalistic excellence for all of us to emulate. In his honor, I will start this report emulating his famous Program Open. This is Dave from Net4 Truth USA Whirlwind Revolt, coming to you from the land of the New Jersey Devil, 111,000 acres of pinelands wilderness bordered by the historic Delaware River and Egg Harbor, bringing you the news behind the news, the story behind the story, hoping to convince you that reality is usually scoffed at and illusion is usually king. But in the battle for the survival of Western civilization, it's going to be reality and not illusion or delusion that will determine what the future will bring. Occasional Cortex and the Demon Rats may differ with that opinion.
Good morning. This is Dave from Whirlwind Revolt Net4 Truth USA. It is April 3rd, 2019, and I just thought I'd take you guys for a ride, change the scenery a little bit, and talk about what's going on and what's new. We find out that on a hot mic, way back, Joe Biden bragged about having the Ukrainian what's the equivalent, the Ukrainian equivalent of the special prosecutor or attorney general fired because he was investigating some shady dealings with an energy company that his son was involved in. It never ends, folks. The tangled web of corruption that has never been exposed by the mainstream media, not even close. He threatened to have U.S. aid to Ukraine, over $1 billion, stopped if this attorney, the Ukrainian attorney general that was investigating a case of corruption that involved his son and an energy company. His son was allegedly getting $160,000 a month for his role in the corruption. We will have more on that as things uncover and unravel. But what they've been trying to do to Donald Trump and all the allegations that they've been making against our duly elected awesome president, they have done themselves. This is like committing a murder and cementing the body behind the drywall in a house, and then going to the police department and saying, well, I know there's a murder committed and there's a body in the house somewhere. You might want to look inside the walls. I don't know how stupid one can get, but stupid is as stupid does, I guess. And CNN's ranking, because of the fake news, CNN, the whole mainstream media, but CNN and Rachel Maddow in particular, as I said in a previous video, their ratings dropped 50%. I don't think any show on CNN, I looked at the chart, went over 700,000 viewers. Guess what? Stony and I, in a few weeks, are going to have 3 million listeners on this radio program, in addition to our social media audience, which is at least 10 times what they're telling us. And we will find that out too, because nothing that is hidden will be covered anymore. Every piece of corruption, every little bit of wrongdoing that these people have done is slowly but surely making its way to the surface because we have a infinite number of citizen reporters who are getting into this. Now it kind of Jeep waves to me. Who are uncovering this stuff, doing the job of the mainstream media. And Brian Stelter, this guy should be in a comedy show. I mean, the level of denial is absolutely incredible. The level of stupidity is absolutely phenomenal. They are not going to survive this. The mainstream media will not survive this, especially if all of you do what I suggested that you do, is go and get yourself a Tiger Stream box. And don't fall for the cheap fakes that they got on eBay. These Chinese fakes don't work. They might work to begin with, but then they don't have any updates. They won't allow the applications to be updated, and then you're stuck with versions that are glitchy and don't work. You get what you pay for. In this case, very quality product, Tiger Stream. I'm using one myself. I get every TV show that was ever aired, every news program, every movie that was ever made back to the 1920s, and you can pick applications that deal specifically with a category of thing that you want to watch. And there are thousands of applications that are available. And yeah, you might have a little learning curve there, about as much of a learning curve as it took to get from a dial TV with the knobs to a remote that you talk to. But once you get past that little hurdle, you'll love this thing. And I tell you what, you're going to thank me, because you will not have a cable bill. All you need is an internet connection. An internet connection is all you need. And in some cases, even DSL works, as long as it's over 2.5 megabits per second. And you can watch anything you want. And the problem is with them, they don't get the statistics from you having a box, because when you have a box, they know what you're watching. They know how long you're watching it, when you turn it on, when you turn it off, and they could even spy on you sometimes. So with this thing, you have peace of mind, and you can do away with your cable bill. I'm sure you could use the money, because you will have much better than cable for zero cost. It's a one-time cost. You own the machine. You own it. You don't rent it. You own it. So when you move or when you want to go on vacation, you could take the thing with you and have it with you. And it's really great. It's really great. Anyway, let me get off that subject. We're going to be in the process of setting up the studio here in a couple of days, and that might take a week or two. And we're still in negotiation with the station about how much time we got and how long. But no matter what time it is, the audience from that station alone is 3 million listeners. And if we live stream or record the program and broadcast it later, we'll have whatever additional audience we have on social media. We're trying to get it to the point where we can live stream and take calls from outside of the radio listening area, so that people can talk on the live stream and get to the station in Colorado, so that we can have a non-delay conversation. You know, I don't know if you ever tried to talk over a satellite, but it's kind of like push to talk. You talk, the other guy listens, and it takes 5 or sometimes even 10 seconds for the other person to hear you. And it's very discombobulating. It really screws up your line of thought. But what I'm trying to do here is we're trying to get this live stream so that it works in a reasonable amount of time with minimal delay. And I think that the technology exists on some venue to live stream, because we're not really live streaming video. We're going to be live streaming audio. So that should be making it a lot simpler. Should not require that much bandwidth. Okay, so It is a beautiful day. I am gonna be doing some running around here, but I hope that everybody that's listening to this right now subscribes to all 4 of my channels, 3 on their tube and 1 on BitChute, and also to Stony Stone. And down in the links, you'll see Plymouth Fury, another good friend of ours up in Canada. Subscribe to his channel because he recently got taken off as well. I have a sneaky feeling that President Trump is going to sign an executive order ordering mainstream media to allow free speech and not to censor free speech the way he did with the universities. I think that's the final blow that's going to be bundled in with the mainstream media hit. Because the mainstream media, if it's propaganda, it is worse than useless. I mean, yeah, you can get useless TV shows. There's hundreds of them that don't contribute to the knowledge of the people, that don't contribute anything to the well-being of the country. But these programs, these news programs, are not news. They're deep state propaganda, and they intentionally harm the country, have harmed the country, by pitting people against each other, by creating classes of people that normally would not exist, by telling people lies, lying about the president, lying about the State of the Union. It's pathetic. Mainstream media, you are pathetic. And Stony and I, just 2 guys in our living rooms, sitting there in our underwear, are going to have more viewers, 4 times, 5 times more viewers than CNN. This is Dave from Net for Truth USA. Well, we're Whirlwind Revolt, and there's going to be a Whirlwind Revolt. Trust me on this one. And now, since we got all these problems out in the Midwest with crop production and flooding and droughts and everything else, to close the Mexican border completely is probably not a good idea, because we have commerce going back and forth, legal commerce, crops and things like that, vegetables that should be allowed through, but they come through the points of entry. They don't jump the border, so I don't think that should be a problem. I think what President Trump means by closing the border completely is he meant that he's going to close the unsecured part of the border, the part of the border that is not a point of entry, and that's how we'll get around that. Okay, just want to make sure my mic is working here. This is probably the most dangerous intersection anywhere here. This is Gibbsboro Road and the White Horse Pike. And I've seen more accidents and more idiots getting T-boned at this intersection than ever. Come on, let's go. Wake up. The gas is on the right. Problem is you can't see around these cars, and you got some little twerp coming around the corner you can't see. He's going to run the light, and he's going to T-bone you. So that's what you got to do. But anyway, it is a beautiful day. I plan to spend the majority of it outside getting some air and getting some vitamin D and charging my Breitling takeoff watch, and letting my dogs run around for a bit. Look at the flowers are coming out already. Yeah, it's getting nice. Global warming, I'll take it. I don't like snow. I don't like cold weather. So if the weather's going to warm up, I'm down with that. You can't survive the cold. Cold, you can only put so many blankets on. You can only build so many fires. And if they turn the electric off or the gas off, you're screwed. So this way is another bad intersection. And another stupid thing that New Jersey does is school buses stop on the tracks to see if a train is coming. And I always thought that, hey, That's a dumb thing to do because, God forbid, you're bus stalled and you got a bus full of kids. How are you going to get them off the bus before the train hits you? There's a lot of stupid things that politicians do, a lot of stupid laws that they make and that are not attached to reality and not making sense in the real world. But that's Ocasio-Cortez wants to stop cows from farting. Hey, I got a solution for the cow farts. Just give them Beano. Just give them Beano, there'll be no gas. We'll have hamburgers and no farts. Anyway, this is... I'm almost back where I gotta be, so I'm gonna say so long, 7-3. Thank you very much for listening.
Please subscribe to our backup channels, Whirlwind Revolt, Inglorious Patriots, and Net4Truth USA 2 Patriot channel. You can also find us at Net4Truth USA on BitChute. We fly so close to the target, we're on our 4th fighter jet. We will be relentless truth seekers until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description, but for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/Net4Truth USA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.